One of the ways I was able to overcome my anxiety in parenting was that I had to go back to myself and ask myself, what exactly am I anxious about? Because I knew that I grew up very timid. I grew up lacking a lot of confidence. And I didn't want that to be the case for my children. And that now made me become highly anxious so as not to create that same experience again. So I had realized that what I was afraid of eventually began to happen. The things that I wanted to see were not the things that I was seeing. Of course, there are other great things that I was seeing in my children. But that one thing that had plagued me while I was growing up, the insecurity, the lack of confidence, the anxiety, when I saw it playing out in my child, I realized that I needed to stop the strategy I was working with, whether I was intentional about it or whether I was ignorant. I had to go back to the place of accepting the fact that even though I had all of these challenges, the insecurity, the lack of confidence, I did not give up on myself. I still went through that process where I evolved. I became a better individual and I worked out my own, destiny in such a way that I'm still able to create value for my world and still birth a beautiful future for myself. So in spite of what I experienced while growing up, I just knew that it was still possible to create a good future for myself. So instead of putting in too much pressure on my daughter, I had to now work with her to help her, come out of whatever insecurities. Could it be from my end? Was it something I was doing? Or was it the environment that I was creating for her that was putting so much pressure? I had to relax all of those standards and just let her grow according to her own pace, make her mistakes and learn from it. Because I tell you, the mistake that we made while we were growing up formed us into the kind of adults and solid adults that we are. But I still know that the kind of environment that parents create for their children at childhood can either make their coming out faster or slower. Because when there is so much toxicity while a child is growing up, in adulthood, instead of them to be exploring and chasing their future full-fledged, they will still be working on healing from their trauma. They'll still be battling with lack of confidence, self-doubt, while their mates that had a more enabling environment are already conquering territories and moving fast. So that's one thing I knew that I don't want my children to go through. So it helped me become a better parent. Because if I don't do it better, there's no other way my children will learn it from. So that was for me one of the greatest way I achieved, getting out of that anxiety as a parent.
That's so remarkable, sincerely, because we have a lot of parents passing down traumas to their children. And the society cannot go if these patterns are replicated
from generations to generation. And the truth is that is really one of the reasons why it seems as if the leadership in Africa is bad. Because of the kind of parenting that a lot of adults now in government experienced. They experience bullying in the name of discipline. They experience the act of being shut down just in the name of being respectful. So when they get in power, they feel that is what adults do. Adults are meant to be bullies. Adults are meant to be abusers of power. And then when someone or the citizen tries to ask a question or tries to demand a better government, you are being arrested or you are being labeled as an agitator or a disruptor of democracy. So you see that everything we are going through in our country, Nigeria, or even in Africa as a continent, is parenting. It's a parenting flaw. When people grow up in a space where they are given that enabling environment to question adults, but be taught to question respectfully. In fact, I come to a level where I engage my children and I tell them that if I tell you something and you have a different opinion, tell me about it. Don't just think that adults have the final say and you can't have an opposing view, but make sure you state your views respectfully. So until we give children a voice, we're not empowering our generation. We're not. We're really not empowering our generation. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. I'm so much concerned about how you started changing, how you started evolving. What were the steps, the structures you were able to put in place in order for you to be able to help your child early when you started seeing all those patterns?
So for me, the first thing I had to do was accept that I'm not perfect. Because I wanted to be a perfect individual. And I also wanted that to happen for my children. So I was trying to max up a lot of my shortcomings. I was trying to max up a lot of my shadows, I would tell you, and not embrace it as a part of myself. I was shaming myself even for having all of those shadows, thinking that people that do well and achieve great things are perfect people that don't have anything to hide. But until I came to that place of saying, in spite of this insecurity that I experienced while growing up, I still was able to create a beautiful future for myself. So my daughter, my children can still live a beautiful life if only they have a more supportive parent. So immediately I accepted that it was easy for me to now give grace to them. When they make mistakes, I tell them, you're just 10-year old. You will still learn. You know, you're not yet 36. You're not yet 40. So why would I be demanding a 40-year-old, attitude from a 10-year-old? So I know, oh, you're 10 years old. Of course, that does not mean I'm permissive. But I'm telling myself that it is a journey. They are going to get it. So why do I want them to get it right now? Did I get it at 10? No, I didn't. So they will get it eventually. So I think it was just a mindset shift. And truly, if teachers can understand this, if parents can understand this, both in the classroom and at home, our children will not be pressured. A lot of children are under pressure to produce spotless performance, spotless results. But what about the effort they are putting in? Are we recognizing the effort? Are we even acknowledging it? When you acknowledge the effort your children they are putting, the motivation to do more will be there. That's really what happens.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a lot to unpack, but we understand.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining me on the couch.